Good morning, folks. Welcome to the stream, the Dream Stream, with me and Scraddles. How you doing, Scraddles?
I'm doing good looking at you, friend.
Oh, well, I'm good. I'm glad to see you there, little buddy.
You're my little buddy.
Okay, all right. She's on my lap right now. She's not sleeping. She's just soaking in all the good times that can be had, laying on the lap. Wait, you wanting something?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was my bad. I should have been feeding you while I was listening to that song. That was Flaming Lips, The Gash, from the album The Soft Bulletin. Could you guys hear that? By the way, just want to make sure OBS is doing me right and not doing me wrong, as it was yesterday. I have no idea what went on with that yesterday. Maybe I'll do I should have done a test stream just to make sure everything was working properly, but whatever. Welcome, everyone. Vakala coming in first, getting a gold star. Now, she wanted that gold star because she was going to strategically put the gold star on the right where her third eye should be, right on her forehead. The rest of her face made up with silver stars. Wow, what a sight to behold, folks. What a sight to behold. I'm not blowing anybody out, am I, with the audio? Looked like I was peeking for a minute. For a little bit there. Smile coming in second with a silver star. Maybe he'll hand that silver star to Vakala for her collection. We have no idea. Koloski coming in third. Bum? Who are you calling a bum, Koloski? You dirty serial killer? We know all about you, Koloski, and what you've been up to. Jason Frey doesn't get nothing except my respect for showing up. Welcome to you, Jason Frey. William, oh, Shy Willie. Not me, Shy Willie. He says that Jason Frey is creepy. Or, I don't know what he's saying. He's just saying it's creepy. I don't know. Behemoth666, welcome to you. He says, so no Trypticon Transformer yet. Well, no dice on that one. It's fine. It's fine. Bob Bot, welcome to you. Says, hey everyone. And Koloski the killer. We're gonna have to get a creepy pasta made of Koloski. See if I can work on that. And Figs, good morning to you and welcome to the stream. Bobbot says, I was silver. I demand a recount. You're crazy. You weren't even close to a silver star, you dirty dog. Treknut says, we hear ya, morning. Oh, good morning to you as well, Sisu. Didn't mean to leave you out. So yeah. How you guys doing? Give you a little dead air. We'll just get into drawing today. I don't know if we have. Fix says it's the best morning stream. I don't know what else you got out there. maybe there's something else out there for you folks. Maybe there's something else someone else has to offer. But yeah, probably is the best. Koloski says, I'm doing fantastic. How are you, Davis? Doing all right. Better than could be expected, I think. EDM, good morning to you. I think I more or less had a good night's sleep. God, when you can get like 5 hours sleep at this point, at least for me, that's like all the world. So I feel pretty refreshed. Oh, hey, Scraddles.
Hey, Davish.
Why do you get all excited? Oh, shit, because I haven't fed you. Yeah, that's what I was going to do. All right, give me 1 second. Bear with me, folks, while I feed the Scraddler.
Yeah, feed me, you son of a bitch.
Oh my gosh. Why don't you just complain to the audience while I'm doing that?
All right, this is the thing with Dave is he's a kicker.
Oh.
Yeah, you sleep on the bed, you expect to have your best friend, you know, being a good friend and all, and then you get kicked in the face in the middle of the night, and then he comes on the morning show and he complains that I sleep on his head occasionally when it's raining outside. Fuck that shit. I'm gonna bury this fool.
Whoa.
Do I ever kick your face?
Not really. Maybe only occasionally.
You do it every night. Every night you kick me in the face.
Well, maybe you shouldn't sleep next to my feet.
Fuck you!
Whoa. Calm down, Scraddles. It's fine. You have plenty of places to sleep, I'll just tell you that.
I like sleeping with my best friend. It's not a big deal.
Well, I apologize. I don't know what we can do to rectify this situation. Maybe I'll be more responsible in the future. Maybe I'll tie my legs um, together or something. I don't know.
Just stop kicking me, asshole.
Okay. All right. That's my fault. I didn't realize that I was as much of a terror to you as you are to me sometimes. That's why it's good to talk things out, don't you think?
Fuck off.
Whoa. I think in all things, clarity is more important to agreement. Wouldn't you say, Scrattles?
I think slitting your throat right now would be more important than anything. I'm hoisting the black flag, Davis.
Okay. All right. You know I'm cutting up your food right now, right?
Thank you, friend.
Mm-hmm. All right. Looks like I got it here. And it's a tasty Bella dinner. It's a porterhouse steak flavor. You like that, don't you?
I surely do.
All right, here it is for you. You got some water over there. Now you got some Bella dinner. So maybe we can just move on from this drama. You want to move on?
I'm not moving on.
Okay. You're just gonna eat your food and then stew in this deep-seated hatred that you've apparently had for me for how long? How long have you had this?
As long as I can remember.
Wow. And you didn't bring it up until now?
Davis, I'm on Twitter complaining about it all the time. You don't even follow me back.
Wow.
You probably have me blocked. Let me check.
Oh my God. You can't see it, but she's pulling out her play school laptop.
Yeah, you have me blocked.
It's not even on. Dear God, there's no internet on that thing.
What?
Oh. Um no, it's fine. It's fine.
You gave me a faulty computer? You're a monster!
Okay, all right. Don't go after my feet, little Scrattles. Dear Lord. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know what that was. That was It was a little bit ridiculous. Alt centrist, welcome to the stream. Mrs. Davis slept like an Ellen. Apparently not. Maybe you should sleep with Ellen, Scrattle. She'd be a much better person. She doesn't kick at all.
Sad, Davis.
Wow. Ah. Fakala, where did this tiny shovel come from? That's true. And Fig says, damn, she's throwing you under the bus. She certainly is. The mean little dog, as Adrian Blom points out. It's true. Fig says, is it weird that I want to try one of those Bella dinners? Yeah, it's a little weird. Let's be honest. Probably just tastes like dog food.
What?
Oh, no, it's fine. It tastes pretty good, doesn't it?
Tastes fine.
Is that little eating sounds coming from you? Ridiculous. Little Scrattles ASMR for you. If you like that. Maybe one day we'll set up a Scrattles mukbang stream. How about that? If you guys want to see that one day, we'll go ahead and do that. It's probably what you guys want to see more than anything. Sounds like a horrible idea. All right, let's get back to what we do on this stream. We do an art stream, from what I remember, something like that. Got a lot of problems here to fix, as we always do. What are we doing? We're working on the shorts right now? Okay, fine. Fine, we'll do that. Then we'll move on. Brian Rex says, LOL, no AP though. Or no AP, huh? Oh, well, let's be fair to AP. He said that, hey, don't do that. Don't do that. Listen. Oh, let me tell you what's going on right now, chat. Scrattles, at some point, this is what she does. She decides that she doesn't want to eat right now. So what she'll do, she's looking at me right now.
Go ahead. Embarrass me. Go ahead.
She'll take a sock from the hamper and she'll put it on top of the bowl as if to say, don't go near my food. When do I ever go after your food? Have I ever eaten your food, Scrattles?
No. But you might.
Okay. Well, why do you do it?
No, anybody could go after my food. It's a dog thing, Davis. You don't understand.
All right, fine. What was I saying? Yeah, AP said he more or less he doesn't he's not up for these hours. But he did say that he would get back to me on Discord in the DMs, and he hadn't done that either. So I had no hopes for him to show up this morning. Obviously, welcome to do so if he wants to. As really anybody is. Obviously, I'm going to be the big deciding factor on that. Can't have anybody stopping by. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. Maybe it'll happen next week. Maybe it won't happen at all. That's exactly it, Sisu. Scrattles hides food around the room and protects her main stash, like a drug kingpin.
That's where I got it from, Davis.
Oh, okay. All right. Katie Waxlover. Welcome to the stream, by the way. She's a typical pupper. I'm saving it for later, Davis. Yep. It's true. Adrian Blom says Davis AP has no backbone. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. Satellite says AP hits up on Twitter like an ex-girlfriend, but can't send you a message to coordinate an appearance. I have no idea. Yeah, that seemed odd to me. I don't know what the prerequisite conversation would be. I don't know if people really get me, really understand what I'm about. Have I really ever gone on places to bury people? I'm not really a go for the throat type of guy. Have I ever had anybody on my show where I came at them with knives? As I explained to him, it would be a candid conversation. So I don't know what the coordination would involve. Seems ridiculous. But whatever. Willing to do whatever it takes. Not really. Not really willing to do whatever it takes. Certainly willing to talk a little bit on the DMs before it happens. So that's about it. Sisu says there's a reason why burying people is a meme here, because you're typically just brutally honest. Gaslighting isn't really your style. Yeah, it's never been something that I've been a big fan of. But I understand why people do it for sure. Altcentra says, no knives, but you beat Optic almost to death with a shovel once. Haven't I been more than fair with optic though? I don't know. From my perspective, I have. Maybe I've gone a little too hard on him. I don't know. Who knows? Welcome to the stream. Hey man, nice shot. Good morning to you. Adrian Blom says Davis just gets Blossom's massive forehead to crush AP. Oh my gosh, can you imagine? Trek nuts. Davis can't even bury Ellen. At least not until 500 more people subscribe. The sinister laugh doesn't really go with that accent. Or maybe it does. Maybe it works perfectly. Who knows? EDM throwing out haze to everyone. You get a hay, and you get a hay, and you get a hay. Everybody gets a hay. Hey now. I'm gonna steal a lot of color from the other image. So I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll take the dress up girl, put her over to the side, like a Photoshop kid would. Be more convenient to do it this way. But the last volunteer battles on. Man, I gotta listen to that album again. God damn, that's a great one. That's one of my favorite bands. One of my favorite concert going experiences for sure was the Yoshimi Battles the Pink Robots tour from the Flaming Lips. One of the best things I'd ever seen. Oh dear, her bra is showing in the back. That's a good point, isn't it? I'll have to I'll have to consider that, won't I? They have how does that work? They have backless bras, right? How do those work? Anyway, I'm sorry. We'll get distracted and I'll start looking up bras on Google. I know myself too well to get caught in that trap. Richard Murdoch, welcome to the stream. Thongs are allowed to peeky, but not bras. Adrian Blom doing a poll for some reason. What's going on? Just trying to dox my chat. Trying to get the lay of the land. I could just go to my demographics on YouTube and you can see where everyone's from. Vamp Candy, welcome to the stream. The Dream Stream. God damn it. Had the wrong functionality on here. All right. Let's get to it. Shouldn't take too long to do this. He says, like a mark. Oh, hi, Vamp. Vamp's my favorite customer. You're my favorite customer. Vamp Candy letting us know backless bras are basically just full coverage pasties. I guess what I'll do is I'll just cheat it. I don't think anybody's going to be too upset. Look at this fuck up. That needs to be worked on too. Or I could just move the dress up. I don't know. I'll think about it. We'll think about it some other time. Jesus. All sorts of problems. Adrian Blum says, I want to know where people come from, not where they live. Oh, fair enough. In the oven is now a suspect phrase in YouTube's algorithm for some unknown reason. Oh, that's because they're really cracking down on bakers on YouTube. There has been just a rampant amount of middle-aged mommies that have started up YouTube channels to promote their cooking habits, their baking habits. And of course, it's been controversial because everybody has their own recipes, and some people steal recipes. And YouTube is like, "Hey, I've had enough of it. We've had enough of this drama about whose recipes are whose chocolate chip recipes are better. We're just gonna ban the term in the oven altogether." That's what happens, mommies. That's what I think. What happened? That's what I think. What actually happened there? I can't really confirm it. I saw some Project Veritas video on it. I think I'm not really sure. I hope it got flagged and some poor tool has to read my chat about cooking nuggets in the oven like 3 times. Sponge Dad. Katie Waxlover says, I hope they burn their buns. Who's they? You talking about the Jews? I've gone and done it. I love the Jews, by the way. The Jewish people. Excuse me. Emperor Vulcan, welcome to the stream. So what do you think is the hardest piece of art you have made? Uh, well, the tessellation was pretty hard. And it took a lot of it was a very frustrating piece to make. Let me just bring it on the screen real quick and you'll I don't know if I've really talked about it too much. Where is it? Shrugnuts says, Davis loves all Jews. Both the nationality and the religion. He thinks they are the best. It's true. Let me tell you what's so difficult about this piece. Because if you know anything about tessellations, actually, let's just go full blown, full screen on it. Is it Alt F? Control Alt F? But with okay, so with a tessellation, what you have is repeating patterns. So you'd more or less be fine if you just stuck with that. But as I was going through that other piece, what I like most is or what I started getting into was I don't know what I started calling it, a degrading tessellation. It's when the tessellation, as it starts to fall off towards the edge, it starts doing its own thing, but it still has the same value structure as a tessellation. So when we get to, okay, so let's call this the first layer, or the first cycle. Everybody looks the same, more or less. And then we get to the second cycle, that's around here. And you have this girl, and this girl, and this girl. And it's more or less the same. But then when it gets towards the edges over here, things start, everything becomes different. Like this one is different to this one, is different to this one, is different to this one. Let's zoom in so you can see what's going on. Like that one is different. All of them were different. So trying to create, the positive and the negative space and trying to make them coalesce. I don't know. Some people probably could tell you, like Katie Waxliver was here for some of that. It was incredibly difficult mentally to try to put these things together. Like okay, if I put the leg here, what do I do with the beast? If I put the wings here, okay, what's the beast going to be doing? So it was always like back and forth, making compromises here and there. See, this one is different from the other one. This one is different from that one. So yeah, let's just take a look at this one right here. This girl. And let's try to find her counterpart. There's like 3 counterparts that she has. Hopefully we can find it. God, where is she? Yeah, okay, so there she is again. Now, where's the other counterpart? See, are you seeing any like duplicates? Because there are, more or less, they're the same, but they're all different. They're all slightly different. Like I don't know what this angel is doing over here. She's hiking up her dress. Look at this one. Where's the third counterpart? Yeah, there she is again. Yeah, she's more or less the same. But yeah, that's what I'm talking about. When you get to like drawing is more or less whatever. You could draw pictures till the day is done. But doing like a tessellation and trying to rectify positive and negative space is uh is a real mind fuck. So that was difficult. There's another one out there that I'll have to show you guys one day. It's that was crazy fucking hard to do, but I don't have that picture in front of me, so I don't know. I think I'm mostly interested in doing art that is pretty challenging. Otherwise, why do it, right? Really, this whole process of making a game is just to it's like nothing I've ever done before. And when you can get to a point in life where you're either recreating the same picture you've done for 10 years, or you can move on and try something new. I don't know. I'd prefer to do the latter. Excuse me. Altcentra says, that's pretty cool, but don't you think it would be better if you did it in watercolor and slapped a shit rainbow on it? That's a good point. Crucial Bunny says, look at all those penises. A lot of penises. Kolofsky says, Davis draws some real cuties. Apathetic ranter, welcome to the stream. Good morning. Finally awake in time to catch it. Your artwork is amazing. Well, thank you. Cornelius says, finally some art on an art stream. We did it. I promised you that we'd get there. Adrian Blom says, Davis, could you draw the Kumite Last Supper in this art style? I could, but I won't. I absolutely will not. Apathetic ranter, the Kumite hasn't had any dinners since failure stole the fridge. It's true. I'm not interested in doing memes or shit like that. I'm no good at it. I spend way too long or way too much time on shit to just do throwaway art pieces. Doesn't make any sense. Katie Waxlover says, it was a blast watching you do that piece. I was checking out old streams the other day. Fun times. Yeah, every once in a while I'll go back to the old streams and listen to them. Obviously, some of them are more hard to listen to than others. It's fun to hear Big Tuna. We had a guy back in the old days when when what could be called the first season of the Night Beast. We had a guy named Big Tuna that would come on. He was a guy who I don't know where he was from, but he had a boat that he would pilot, and he would do tours. Bit of a fisherman, a good old boy. Had some stories. Had a gruff-sounded voice and a gruff demeanor. Known him for quite a bit in some other chats. Guy did not suffer fools. And man, he was a fucking hell of a character. You guys would have loved him. But sadly, one day we got news. Well, it was yeah, what had happened is one night he told us, he was like, "Hey, listen, I'm not going to be around for a bit. I gotta check myself into a hospital. Got something going on with my foot. Just gotta get it checked on." And it was sometime later that his girlfriend had let us know that things went pretty bad, and that yeah, he fell into a coma, and it was a couple weeks later that we found out that he had passed on. Pretty shocking turn of events. That happens. I mean, it happens when you're streaming and you get to meet people online. Everybody has their own. I don't know. What was that? Sorry, guys. Let me go open up my Streamlabs and figure out what that notification was. Make sure I'll give you the praises. Apathetic Ranter, what do you draw for fun? The kind of stuff you just keep in your sketchbook. Probably dirty things. Dirty, disgusting things. No, really, I don't. I mean, this is what I'm doing for fun right now. The BTK donated $2. Well, thank you very much for that, the BTK. She says, "Aloha, keep up the good artsies." Keep up the good artsies. Well, all right, we'll try to do that. Trent Eastwood says a coma from a foot op. It turned out it was much worse. He was just telling us it was one thing when it actually was something else. Yeah, he was all messed up. I don't know if he expected for it to be as bad as it was. Who knows? But yeah. Yeah, he had problems with his liver. He had all sorts of problems. That's right, Katie Waxliver. Yeah, it was Big Tuna started calling all the women in the chat yentas because they would they would constantly gossip about things going on in other chats. So he called the women the yentas. Anyway. Don't mean to bring you guys down, but I don't know. A bit maudlin these days, I guess. Truck nuts. Wow, way to kill a Friday, jerk. We may need some Yanet to bring the mood back up. That might be it. Punish that. I'm trying to masturbate, asshole. Good luck. I'll try to get you guys back up to into feeling good. Sorry, I even worked myself into a bit of a shoot, I guess. I don't know. Clint Eastwood says, "Please explain, Davis." What do you mean? Please explain what? You want me to just explain myself? Please explain, Davis. I got dogs barking downstairs, guys. I might need to take them out with my high-powered rifle. They're gonna wake up the nephew. Clint Eastwood says, "Explain who or what a Yanet is. I suppose if you read my previous message." Ah, yeah, I didn't see that. Yanet, who is Yanet? You know goddamn well who Yanet Garcia is. Was that her name? Yanet Garcia? Well, let me explain who Yanet Garcia is for those of you who don't know. Yanet Garcia is a woman with one of the most incredible asses out there. Seems to defy physics, this ass. Gabriel Sunny says, "Do you draw pets?" I have. I suppose for a while there I could have been that could have been my job, painting pets. Oh yeah, that's a good point. Punch Dad says, "Yeah, you should see his Chelsea Dogs piece." Do you do pet commissions? No, I don't want to get back into that. I don't want to get into painting people's pets. The problem with pet portraiture is you really have to demand the best quality pictures from people, because you'll get pictures that are like out of focus and the color is off, and people expect it to look like your pet and whatnot. So I've turned away more opportunities than I've actually done. Yeah, that's the thing with art. People will say like they'll say things like, "Oh, don't get into art, don't get into painting because you'll never make a living." It's a bit like anything else that people tell you not to shy away from. Can't remember what it was, but it was some comedian. He was talking about um, he was talking to some comedian, some young kid's mother about getting into comedy, and she was like, "I just don't want him to get into comedy because, what if, you know, you know, not a lot of comedians they don't make it out there. And maybe that's true. Maybe because they're not funny. But what you don't know about like comedy is it's not just stand-up comedy. There's plenty of writers out there. There's so many jobs for people, and it's the same way with art. Maybe you'll never be like a famous artist. You'll may Yeah, the chances are you will not be the next Pablo Picasso, Who even knows who the current Pablo Picasso is right now? Who even knows? But yeah, there's so many avenues to make money with art. Some that you don't even think about. And one of those ways is, pet portraiture. It's very popular. If you're a skilled painter and you paint pets, you will have commissions till the day is done. I just happen to, gosh, it's like if you painted a few pets, it's like, dear God, am I gonna paint Labradors for the rest of my life? This says the Scrattles portrait was top notch. Nah, if we're being honest, it probably wasn't. I'll have to get out my portrait of the cat I did for my mother, my family. I had a cat named Spartacus that I painted, which just opened up a fucking can of worms. I'll tell you what. You paint one cat that passed on, and then every fucking cat. Davis, are you gonna paint every dog that passes away? You have to paint that one. It's just like, goddamn. Punish Dad says getting into video games is harder than getting into art. Methinks. I have no idea. Depends on what you mean by getting into video games. It's definitely got its huge um, barrier for entry. That's for sure. But the same is true of art, really. It's hard to start out um, being a painter. It's incredibly difficult. I don't know. Adrian Blum says, I love drawing animals. Well, there you go. Red Feather One, welcome to the stream, by the way. He says, all artists are highly critical of their own work. Yeah, some of them more than others. Some of them should be more critical of their work. Put away that shovel, Davis. Punish Dad says, I mean a lot more limited in the scope of jobs. Do you think so? Yeah, I have no idea. I don't know what the industry is like. Yeah, who knows? Bobot says, a guy I was in college with got a job at Rockstar North when he was 19. He helped make GTA. He was one of the 500 people. How many people are at Rockstar? Man, they got a fucking massive company. You put out great shit. It's amazing that they can make that shit work. Gabriel Sunny says, I would be a pro photographer, but not determined enough, and the field is saturated. Yeah, I would imagine. As Clint Eastwood points out, seems everyone who gets a Canon Rebel for Christmas is a pro photographer by Boxing Day. Welcome to the stream, Blossom, as well as you, Jimmy the Lip. Got a hail forehead in the chat. If that's going to be a thing. What's this? Sorry, gotta check something real quick. Alt Centrist giving me the link to, oh, what's that? Yannick Garcia's Facebook? Oh, no. We've only looked at her Instagram. Should we dare look at her Facebook? No, we're not going to do it. Gabriel Sunny says, I'm a medium film photographer with geriatric Hasselblad and Pentax cameras, amongst others. Oh, okay. You're a film camera woman. Perfectly fine. Knew a lot of great photographers in New York. Obviously, that's where they all go. Android the Destroyer, welcome to the stream. Now, I did look up these short shorts. And apparently, they do have pockets. I don't know what the point of them is, though. I think they're more for decoration than anything. Adrian Blom giving us the Yannick Garcia news. Says, I'm sub to Yannick Garcia, but she hasn't posted a lot after her boyfriend dumped her for a stupid game. That's right, we got that news. She was dumped because the guy wanted to play Call of Duty. I don't know. Fucking guys are dumb. I'll say it. Clint Eastwood says Davis looked up the shorts just like he looks up the skirts. The dirty dog. It's true. It's just the kind of guy I am. Lemon knows. I'm a dirty old man. If the shorts are too short, the pockets show. Not a good look. Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, that's when they. Yeah, these pockets are specifically designed for short shorts, but yeah, when they do the cutoff jeans, you'll have that white part of the pocket stick out. Yeah, it's not great. It's tacky, but some people try to rock it. I don't think they successfully do. Gabriel Sunny says, I find it funny. Don't take it personally, please. Don't worry. I'll be fine. It's just that my mods, they got a they get a they got a zero tolerance policy towards discrimination because of age. So just be mindful of that if they ever show up. They might give you the bad times, take you out to the back and rough you up. It's just the way they operate. They're bad dudes. Gabriel Sunny says, I'd be a sugar mama, but not enough money to buy Rolexes. Really? You can't hire a pool boy? That's what I hear is the way to go. Get yourself a Latin American pool boy. Seduce him with your feminine wiles. Feed him, or get him like Long Island iced teas while he's working. And then one thing leads to another, as it does. Ever told you about the time I was a pool boy? Anyway, we'll move on. Adrian Blom says, I once drew a model's face in school and the dude wanted to give me money for it. So I just gave it to him. You reminded me of something that happened, I guess it was about 6th grade or something. I think it was my first commission. Now, I'd been doing art contests since I was in the 4th grade or something like this, but it was this kid. He wanted to do something special. This is weird, man. He wanted to do something special for his mom and dad's anniversary. So he paid me $20 to do a portrait of of his father and mother. Gave me a picture and everything, and yeah, of course I did it. Yeah, it was one of my first commissions. I hadn't thought about that in fucking years. I think it was more or less like no, it was like the second portrait I did. I did a portrait of my grandfather for my father for his birthday. came out really good too. It's when I started to realize what kind of power things like that had. And I'll tell you something more than that. Um, Giving gifts that you put together yourself. It's not just about sentimentality, but it's about time. And I think that's one of the things, one of the reasons that artwork is so valuable to people. Um, like if you like, it's probably one of the reasons that I have a big problem with modern art or shit getting flung at canvases, that kind of garbage. But I digress. But if you see a painting on the wall and you could be floored by many things, but I think one of the biggest things that'll floor you is the time involved in making it. It's just astounding. You're like, God damn, someone did this? And I think that's one of the great things about art is it's giving you time. We don't have time in the world, and as you grow older, you realize that time moves faster and faster. At least your perception of it. So if you can capture time, it's very valuable. Pastor B says, by the way, Blossom owes me $200 for that art. Money me this now, please. Uh-oh. What has happened now? Are we in the middle of another controversy? Let's get to the drama machine and find out. Sean Brooks. He misses England. What I know about Sean Brooks is he's in Latin America right now. Fucking Englishman in Latin America for whatever reason. He's probably a drug runner. Let's be honest, folks. He's probably a fucking dirty dog. Red Feather One says, when will Blossom stop ripping off people for artwork? Probably never. Unless somebody speaks up. Behemoth666 says, he's a mule. Is that what it is? I thought he was a negotiation man. If you say so. I'll take your word for it. Gabriel Sunny says, drug mules need large rectums. Knows a bit about the business. We'll have to take her word for it. Geek Father, welcome to the stream. Says, yay, first time live. Raw, everybody. Well, raw to you. We don't really raw here, Geek. We hail Scrattles here. Right, Scrattles? Oh my god. Went to look for Scrattles. I should take a picture of this. She's on her back, curled into a circle. Oh, she found out I was looking at her. She's doing that dog thing, that adorable dog thing.
What are you looking at me for?
Oh, you're still adorable.
I just want to sleep. I don't get any sleep because you're always kicking me.
All right, I'll leave you alone.
This fucking guy, I hate him.
Wow. Give her a Scrattle snack. Well, she hasn't even finished her Bella dinner. Yeah, but for sure I'll give her a snack later on. And she's my sweet little baby.
Sweet little baby.
Ooh, Red Feather. Blink twice if you need help, Scrattles. Oh my god, she's fucking adorable. Sleeping Scrattles is one of the best Scrattles. Worst Scrattles is she's fucking jumps in my lap and then lunges for my nose. Gotta tell you, that can be fucking annoying as hell. Now this is the other thing Scrattles does. Telling some Scrattle stories right now. This is fucking adorable. She doesn't like me leaving the house. So when I put on my shoes and when I go to tie my laces, or she will press her body against my shoes so I can't get to the laces. It's fucking adorable. Wear a cup, Davis? Well, I'm not necessarily worried about that. She weighs probably what, 3 pounds, if that. It's biting the nose that's it's definitely an issue. Not that she does any damage, but ugh, it's fucking annoying.
You're annoying.
Okay, all right. This is gonna be like JF and Andy Worski if I'm not careful.
I don't know who that is.
All right. Take her teeth out? You're disgusting. What I really need to get is a picture of Scrattles with her, doing the mouth open smile thing, because she really doesn't do that. The only time she starts panting is when it's raining outside. For whatever reason, that just really worries her. But I've been trying to get a picture of her with the mouth open smile for a while now. I just haven't been able to get it. But it's so fucking cute. Alt interest says, you have to bite her back, assert dominance, be the alpha. I do threaten to do that sometimes, though. Wear slip-ons confuse the hell out of her. Yeah, I have my sandals downstairs, and the other dogs chewed them the fuck up. They're the only sandals that they chew up. And we put all the shoes in a little shoe cabinet. But for whatever reason, that's the one they go to. I fucking love it. Katie Wexler says, "Oh Lord, one of mine is a true lightweight, but when he walks on me, he has the power to put all of his weight on one paw. Ouch." Yeah, it does get uncomfortable. You know who's terrible about that? Fucking Pugsley. Oh my god, that dog just drives me crazy. I mean, I love him to death. He's just a fucking ornery old man of a dog. But I swear, this fucking dog is like a bowling ball. I mean, you wouldn't expect him to weigh as much. I mean, he's a fucking pug, but he is compact, and boy, can he put it away. Fucking dog eats like a champ. But he's incredible how the heights that he can go to jump on things. Like we have a dining room table, and it's one of the taller ones. We have tall chairs and a tall table, and he could just jump on the onto the top of the table. I have no idea how he does it. He is basically a fucking bowling ball. But yeah, he's a fucking crazy dog. He's always getting into trouble too, because obviously he's not fixed. We have well, we want to do some pug breeding, given the fact it was so hard to get a pug for ourselves in the area of town we live in. So we figured we'd help out people, make some pugs available. God damn, those pugs went quick. But what was I going to say? But oh yeah, because he's not fixed. Yeah, he's always marking things. It's a real fucking problem. Real asshole about it too. He gives no fucks. Always pissing on shit and going, "It's not a big deal." He has Truck Nuts voice that should be said. I know I said these shorts wouldn't take very long, but we've been working on them for an hour now, which is fine. We're just having some fun. We love to do it. I'll also point out this. The reason why, like, I want to do dramatic lighting for this. The reason why it's not dramatic right now is what I'll do is I'll just do just a basic lighting setup, and then I'll do dramatic lighting on top of that. The reason for that is all these assets will be used later. Like there probably won't be a scene anywhere in the game like this, but I could probably use this torso later on. I could probably use these shorts later on for something else. So yeah, things can be used over and over again. Sean Brooks, take care. See you later. Alt centrist. You have to Markham Davis, assert dominance, be the alpha. This is your answer for everything. Red Feather. Red Feather 1 says, my dog Maggie is like that. She can jump the fence like a goat. That's incredible when they do that. Dramatic lighting on top of basic lighting? Is that a photo kid trick? It sure is. Now, for to do that trick, what I need to do is what I'll do is I open up another program called Corel Paint, and then I do one step there. That's where I add the rainbows, and then I open up Clip Studio, and that's where I do the most work. I find it reasonable to have as many art programs as possible. You ever see Freaks and Geeks? Like having like three art programs that you use is a bit like this scene in Freaks and Geeks where one of the characters he he invites his girlfriend to the basement where he has this immaculate drum set. His kit is just huge. And he goes down to play the drums and he's just absolute shit. That's kind of what it reminds me of. I knew a guy back in the day. He would write poetry, and when he would sit down to write poetry, the guy would like have 4 or 5 books, like dictionaries, translations, uh, um, uh, uh, anyway, like volumes of books out because he was doing poetry. And some people are like that. They'll just they'll put on this bravado to things. Oh, okay. No, here's the best example. Okay. This is a fucking funny thing that happened. This is early on, back in the day, if you will. And it was another one of those examples of one of the first times I was paid for artwork. I guess it was in like high school. Sometime after high school, actually. A friend of mine had a manager who was pregnant, and she wanted someone to come to her house and do a mural for the baby's room, and and she she knew me, or yeah, I was friends with her, but she also knew another painter, and he wasn't very good at all. Oh man, I'm getting this fucking story wrong. No, that wasn't the case. Okay, no, yeah, it was different. Okay, what it was, yeah, it's a completely different story. It's been a long time. It's been a long time since I've even thought about this. Okay, so my friend, it's like a great friend in high school. She had moved to Mexico for a while, and we wanted to surprise her by painting a mural in her room. And uh, and what we decided to do was her closet door. I would paint the inside of the closet door, and he would paint the outside. And this guy was just the ultimate poser artist type of guy. Now he loved artwork, and he loved to talk about art, but as far as like actually creating something, he just wasn't very good. And he was like the typical guy. He had a beret that he would wear. He had all the best uh, gear. He had a stack of paintbrushes. None of them had been used. Oh, these were immaculate paintbrushes. He had the best paints out there. Um, yeah, he was just ready for it. Anyway, so I show up with my stuff, but I forgot my paintbrushes at home. So I asked him if I could borrow one of his paintbrushes, and he reluctantly lent me one. And so he starts doing he does his side of the closet, and I do mine. And it was I ended up painting this woman with feathers. You know, she had wings, and the feathers were hugging her, and the feathers were falling off, and there were like Gerbera daisies falling from the sky, and some sort of Gabriel Garcia Marquez esque vision. And man, it was a fucking striking image. But I did it with one paintbrush, and I can't even remember what his looked like. It just looked like dog shit. And and at the end of the night, I I handed him back the paintbrush, the one paintbrush that I used, and you know what he fucking did with it? He broke it in half. And just the look on his face of just contempt for me was is something I still remember to this day. Like just the frustration on his face. I'll just never. That's the thing that I think about when I think about that story. It's just the sound of him breaking the paintbrush and holding it there, like whatever you're picturing in your mind right now. That's pretty much what it was, because it was very much like something that would have happened on like a movie. It was very traumatic. He broke it, and he was just stood there with this look of frustration, and it was like, okay, um, I gotta get out of here. This guy's gonna fucking kill me. And this guy was like that though. I mean, he was fucking dramatic as hell. I think there was one time that he was so frustrated by something. I think it was a girl that he was having trouble with. He uh, he 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 smashed his face through a glass coffee table. This fucking guy. I saw him like a couple of days after. I was like, "What the hell happened to your face?" And yeah, to his credit, he told me exactly what happened. I was like, Jesus Christ. And that happened. That story actually happened before we did the painting project. So, so yeah, I was a bit worried for myself, knowing that this guy could go to extremes. So I made sure I got out of there. But that was just a just a fucking crazy experience. But yeah, my point being is, yeah, you can have all the tools in the world, but it's not going to make up for, you know, um, either talent or will or experience. You know, you can make music out of anything, really. And I think some people get hung up on that. They're like, well, I just don't have the right tools to make what I want. And these are excuses, right? Like, I'll just let the audience know what we're talking about. Yeah, Optic Decay did some picture yesterday where he did it in Corel Paint. We put it on the screen for you folks. And gosh, who knows? But his tweet is, I think it came out a bit meh. They changed a lot in the new version of Corel Painter, so it threw me all off. Okay, they changed something in the program. That's why it threw him off. Oh, okay. It's always excuses with this guy. They changed something in the program. That's why I made this guy's hands look like a claw. I don't know. Obviously, we could go through this picture and we could bastard or we could bash it all day long. We could talk about the rainbow and how juvenile it looks and all that kind of shit. But whatever, it's fine. Um, here's a, I just saw this. Why did he sign it? Why? This is just an art thing, guys. I don't know if it translates to anything else, but yeah, only put your name on shit that you're proud of because it's your name. Uh, oof, dear God. I don't want to get into like burying that picture at all. Obviously, it's just he does these meme drawings and whatnot, so whatever. It's not worth it. But I did want to point out that I thought that was funny. They changed a lot in the new version of Corel Painter, and it threw me off. Oh, is that what it was? Sisu snaps paintbrush. Davis, get good, scrub. God, what do you do? What do you do when that happens? Obviously, I think I made the best choice by just getting the fuck out of there. I think those paintbrushes, those halves of the paintbrush, those were going to go in my eyes. If I would have stuck around, those were going in my fucking eyeballs. I swear to God. Bastard B says miniature painters are just as bad. I piss them off so bad because I do better with Walmart brushes and paint. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I've always been a big fan of synthetic paintbrushes. Yeah, especially when I was working with acrylic. There's no reason in the world to use high dollar paintbrushes when you're working with acrylic. It just eats brushes. It's ridiculous. That bug behind you. Welcome to the stream. He says, now, Davis. You aren't suggesting that drive is all that truly matters, are you? Well, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot to it, of course. You know, you really got to commit yourself to it. I don't even know if like art was a real like something I had to commit myself to. For me, it was just I was in a fucking world in my head. I never had to. It was never a. They say, oh, you got to practice, practice, practice. I just loved it. I just loved drawing. I was never more comfortable in my life than, or growing up, than I was when I was drawing. It was probably a crutch, to be honest. I mean, I didn't know really how to, I was not a very talkative kid. We moved around a bit, so I don't know if I ever really had that making friends experience when I was a kid. I didn't really have any like long relationships with kids my age or anything. So I used drawing. That was drawing and painting was always my entry point into relationships with people. It's so weird because like in you know growing up, I was not a big talker at all. I was very kept to myself a lot. So to do a do a live stream talking uh, probably would be odd to anybody that I grew up with if they even knew that I did one. Alt centrist wield the shovel, assert dominance, be the alpha. All right, let me try to get current with the chat. Sisu says, "Why wouldn't you sign it? It's fascinating." It's true. What is it supposed to be? I think it's some reference to the Lion King. I don't know. Treknets. Are you implying this isn't gallery worthy? It's a bit odd, isn't it? I don't know. Maybe it says they changed it, and of course Tonka took his talent. Oh yeah, that's true. They changed Corel Paint, and then Tonka mentioned optics. So there you go. It happens. Crucial Bunny says, if I was him, I would have stabbed you in the forearms and broke your fingers. Yeah, probably. But yeah, to go on with that story, I see I had it wrong because there was another experience that I had with this guy, and it's not it's not that funny of an experience, but we were actually how I started that story um, about the kid's bedroom, the the nursery that we were going to paint murals in. Well, it was me and that guy again. The our mutual friend had set us up for a job that we were going to do, and we were going to paint this mural for this kid's bedroom. And so I painted a teddy bear, just basic illustration stuff. It was like a teddy bear, and he tried to paint a train, and anyway, he was not asked back. Yeah, it became very awkward at the end of the night when I had a well executed teddy bear on the wall, and he had uh, just a terrible terrible train painted. But it became very awkward. I can't remember if that happened before or after the closet incident. It had to happen before, but I can't rightly remember. It's been a long time. Bastard Beast gives us the lore. T-Tac just had a child, and he and Broski have a golly gay relationship gimmick. Oh, okay, that's what it is. I don't know who T-Tac is. I've heard this guy's name before. So, whatever. Doesn't matter. Brian Rex says, looks like a thing one would find on a refrigerator. Yeah, yeah, you'd be proud of that if it came from your, 8-year-old kid. It really does look juvenile, which makes me think that was the point. Like he was trying to make it look like it's was made by a child, which is why I'm obviously not going to I'm not going to bury him for it. It's just a meme drawing. Hey, why does he do this though? Why does he spend I mean, his show more or less goes on as long as mine does, right? About 3 hours, 2.5, 3 hours. Why does he spend all that time doing garbage that has no qualities outside of it? Oh, he can't make money off of it. I mean, you can't make prints out of that. Why doesn't he just work on one thing? Like he said, he's like working on a comic book. Why not just work on that? Or maybe he does. I don't know. Like it was suggested before. I can't remember who did it. But it's like, Davis, would you do a Kumite Last Supper picture? Well, I mean, yeah, you know, there's always like there's cool ideas out there that I think about, but at the end of the day, you really got to consider like, okay, am I doing this for an audience of would this picture just be cool for 100 people? That's not really it's not really my thing. I mean, there's something to be said about doing like niche projects, and sometimes there's a joke out there that I want to do regardless of whether or not it's mainstream. It's a very mainstream idea, but I mean, you know, like I said, I'm an older guy. I can't be spending a lot of time doing fucking shit that's not going to either give me some enjoyment or I'm gonna be able to wet my beak with. You know, probably the most niche thing that I've done is the whole that Blossom work, and yeah, that went a little. I got ahead of myself on that one, I think, but that happens. Crucial Bunny. You can hear the delight in his voice when he thinks about how bad that guy is. Oh man, part of it is because I developed a pretty contentious relationship with that guy, as you probably can imagine. But outside of the art thing, I we ended up butting heads on multiple things, all of which I'm not going to talk about. But yeah, but I don't know. You guys probably know someone like that in your life. You can put them on T-shirts. Yeah. Don't you want a Lion King watercolor T-shirt, as this suggests? Exactly. Altcentra says, hypothetically, if that guy had stabbed you in the eyes with that broken paintbrush, could you recreate that Lion King painting being obviously blind and using the brush protruding from your eyeball? Oh, that's the question, right? Uh, Gosh, I don't know what I would do if I lost my sight. I'd probably, I don't know, what can you do at that point? I guess I'd start writing. I guess I'd like I liked writing back in the day. Spinal Tap, welcome to the stream. Eating a pork pie. Well, pretty good. Doug Navarone, can we talk about the glory of Chris Morgan? I binged all his videos, and the guy brought a tear to my eye. Fucking legend. I have no idea what you're talking about. That bug behind you says, Davis, I dislike the notion you're bringing. Making silly, stupid shit is something anyone can profit off of. His problem isn't that he does dumb, stupid stuff, but that he isn't good at it. Yeah, well, yes and no. I mean, well, obviously, you have a point about Optic. Yeah, he doesn't do throwaway shit very well. I mean, yeah, I don't think any all his throwaway meme stuff isn't going to make him any money in the long run. But yeah, my point being, I would spend more time doing general stuff that is probably a little more mainstream friendly. Something that's more universal. Let's just say that, because I'm definitely not a mainstream person. I don't know. Maybe I'm what. Maybe I am. Maybe I was. I mean, gosh, who really knows? Spinal Tap Tapper says, Davis, if you lose your eyesight, you could use echolocation. There's a little black dude in America who is blind and he gets around like a normal person. No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about what would I do creatively. I understand I could live a normal life. Plenty of people go through that shit. Just wondering what I would use my creative juices on. What's this? Clint Eastwood gave me the link for Corel. These are the drawings that people make in Corel Painter. It'd be interesting to check it out. I don't know what the program is like. Maybe it's set up to be more of a painterly program. Look at that. Yeah, that's pretty incredible. Because that really does look like an oil painting. See all those brush strokes and everything? Yeah, that's pretty incredible. I wonder if the woman who painted this was like, man, they changed things in this program. That's why I was able to make this look so good. What a great piece. I think that was more or less a photo manipulation. I'll look up Corel on YouTube and see how people use it. If it is set up to be more like a painting program, it'd be interesting to check out for sure. That bug behind you says, but even if he made throwaway mainstream funny art, it would have the same problem. His comedy isn't even bad, he just doesn't know how to execute comedy well on paper. Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, yeah, he's always going to run into problems. That being said, he might just need like a partner. I don't know if he's ever considered that, but maybe have someone uh, do the sketching, and then he can come on and do the lines. His line work is fine. Maybe if he could hook up with someone like that, maybe someone with a sense of humor and who does a really good drawings. I think he would be fine. The Daisy Dukes need more rainbow. Yeah, probably. Gosh, we gotta move on from this. Don't want to be working on this all day. Want to get at least one complete outfit done before we call it a day. Davis is trying to get hired by Optic. Oh, excuse me, guys. I thought I hit the mute button. Don't mean to cough in your ear. My apologies. That bug behind you says, thus the problem he keeps running into the same brick wall, that he doesn't know how to sketch things out and have flow on a page. He's too focused on the line art, and it hinders the entire process. Yeah, we could diagnose all the problems from here till Tuesday. But yeah, I think you're right on the money there. It's the foundational stuff. You know, I can recognize that because I have the same problems. There's always times that I think, God damn, I didn't set up the foundation right. And then I have to work backwards. I'm like, God damn, if I would have taken care of this before, I wouldn't be running into this problem. I definitely recognize that as an issue. A lot of people have these issues. Yeah, important thing is to just recognize them and try to get better with it. Like I'll tell you that I am not a proficient line artist at all. Just given my background as a painter, I never really had to focus too much on lines. Like a clean line, if you know what I'm talking about, where you have like pin pressure and you know the width of the line will indicate where the shading is coming from, like that kind of stuff. Never been something that I focused on. That's why, as like a cartoonist, I would never. I probably wouldn't excel at it unless, of course, I gave it some real, some real thought and practice and whatnot. It's not something I'm interested in. I mean, part of doing anything creatively is recognizing your flaws and what you're not strong at, and working from there, either making yourself better, or deciding that, you know what, this isn't that important to me right now, I'll just move on. You can't be good at everything. Bible Ninja says, women, Davis, use your creative juices on women. My advice, brother. Be like an Al Pacino from Scent of the Woman type guy. Maybe that's what I'll do. That bug behind you goes on to say, that's the main problem. The colors don't matter. The proportions don't matter. Flow is the only thing that matters in comedy. Well, this is true. Bastard B says, Optic had someone to work with Blackout. Optic just couldn't handle someone younger being beyond his level. Did they ever work together? I think that would have been a good match, actually. They're not too far off. And I don't mean that as a dig or anything, but they have their styles do gel somewhat. Um, so if they worked on a project together, that I think that would have been cool. They probably could have made each other better. That tends to be the case sometimes. That bug behind you says he needs to stop making finished pieces. He needs to sketch and sketch and sketch some more for a while to even things out. I think that's fair. Yeah, you have to do that sometimes. You have to do that all the time, really. Kitsu Furry says, you're still an incredible artist. Digital art is difficult skill to move over from if you started in traditional methods. We looked at my DeviantArt a while back. I want to show you my first digital picture. Now, I got into Photoshop because I was doing some photography before. And obviously, I'm not a great photographer at all, but I did want it to manipulate it a bit. So I got into Photoshop and started manipulating these photos. And then I was like, wow, this is a fucking powerful fucking program. This is incredible, the things that you can do with this thing. So I went out and bought myself a tablet, just a small tablet, and see what I could do with it. I was like, Jesus Christ, this is fucking amazing. So then I bought a second tablet, a bigger tablet, and so the first one that I did was for a art contest. Still don't know how to use Photoshop. No, I mean I still don't know how to use DeviantArt. I'm looking for my work on DeviantArt. I can't fucking find it. Yeah, let's be critical here. Oh wow. I can't believe I saved this. All right. We'll look at that afterwards. Let me come on, you fucking thing. Yeah, this is the first thing that I've ever done for Photoshop with Photoshop. So it has all sorts of problems to it. It was for a contest for that film Mother that was produced by Guillermo del Toro. The theme was like childhood horror or something like that. And of course, this is typical Davis stuff: warping perspective, bending things. But yeah, if I had to do it over again, there's a lot of things I would do. Like I spent all this time on the ceiling. I don't know why I did that. Um, the colors are a bit muted, but yeah, I'm really proud of like how this quilt blanket turned out. I was really happy with that. But yeah, this is where I learned most things on Photoshop. Let me try to scroll up in the chat real quick. That Bug Bunny says every time you put a pin to pad, you need to make a long and drawn out moan. Brush, brush. Geek Father says I tend to write a lot and found I was terrible at writing battle sequences. I've gotten better by reading a lot of action books and just continuing to write. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, action in general is very difficult to write. And of course, you're never going to know how to write those things unless you start reading a lot of like how other people handle it and paying a close mind to that. And it's the same way with painting. Let's go back to another artist that I remember from my youth back in the day. I knew a guy. It's kind of a funny story because I met this guy when I was just coming out of high school, maybe a couple years out of high school, and I was in my apartment, and this fucking apartment is a story all in itself. That place was a doomed, doomed experiment. But at one point, this guy came over. He was a friend of a friend, and he was also an artist. And I was, I so we were talking about art, and one of the things he told me this is a young man thing that this is like something that young men say. I was like, okay, so who are your favorite artists? Who are your inspirations? And he said, no, I don't look at other people's art. I want my art to be completely original. Have you ever heard anything like that? It was the first time that I'd heard it, someone say that, and it wouldn't be the last time. This guy was going to shelter himself from the beauty and the wonder of art so that he could chase originality. I was like, that's fucking crazy to me. That's crazy to me. I think if anything, you want to open yourself up to and just look at as much art as possible. Um, but yeah, it wouldn't be the last time that I heard someone say that. In fact, as I got more into the art circles, you'd find people saying that a lot. Eventually, that died off as I got older and started hanging out with older, more established people. Yeah, nobody said anything like that. That's just a young man thing. But yeah, you want to have as many influences as possible when you're doing artwork. Yeah, that's important. What was funny is my first gallery show that I did in Austin. He was actually in there too, and his painting. It was an emerging artist show, and yeah, I hadn't seen that guy in like 4 or 5 years, and yeah, his artwork was a it was a black canvas, and it was a man crouched over with his hand in his face over his face, and and it was painted in red. It was a very depressing piece, and and it was and just to listen to this guy talk about it, he's like, I've been going through a lot of pain right now, which okay, maybe you are. I don't know. People go through pain and stuff like that, but it just seems to be like a very artsy again, another young man type thing to do, to talk about your pain. It was very emo. Like at that time, that word didn't even exist. Emo as a concept hadn't even reared its ugly head. But yeah, he was totally emo. Anyway, let me catch up on the chat real quick. Did you draw it bent or use the warp tool? No, I drew it bent. Yeah, the warp tool is fine, but no, that's always been my thing to do bendy lines. It's to use the warp tool would be like taking away my my dessert. You know, it's what I love to do with art. The fact that there is a warp tool, it doesn't offend me or anything. It's fine. It's just I don't know. I think making bendy things is fun. That Bug Bunny says, I say that talent is a bullshit term that isn't needed because it muddies the waters. The reason is because everyone's starting point is the same, and everyone needs to process a shit ton of art to be good. Yeah, well, we're gonna get into. I don't want to get into the whole discussion of whether talent is real or not, but yeah, I see your point. He was an artist. Did he wear a beret? Yeah, that guy. But he wore black a lot, which I wear black a lot, But when he wore black, it was kind of he's the quintessential serious guy, which I like. What I like to do with serious guys, and I've met a few of them. Oh my God, oh fuck, I met a ton of them in Williamsburg. These fucking humorless fucks. They act like they're so deep. Oh, and everything is so heavy, man. It's so heavy. Oh, they're just fucking insufferable to be around. That's another thing I never wanted for my artwork. I never wanted to be depressing. I do want people to, to have fun with it. even if it's like, something like this, it's a little darker. There is a tongue-in-cheek quality to it. I mean, it's called Cahoots. That's the name I gave this piece because, yeah, we always, yeah, there is probably a ghoul under your bed, but what about this guy? What about the guy in the window? There is I always sort of want to wink at you a little bit. Sisu says it's kind of retarded. Art is everywhere. Yeah, inspiration is everywhere. Absolutely. It's literally impossible unless you build a cabin in the woods. Well, and then you have the woods. Andrew the Destroyer says Eddie Van Halen has claimed that before. Oh, that's interesting. Bastard B says pretentious statement is pretentious. Oh, I never even heard that quote. That's great. That bug behind you says you need to have seen. This is a quote. You need to have seen everything ever made, and then make it to ever, truly know what's original. Yeah, Salvador Dali. I never heard that one. There's another good one from George Bernard Shaw. It says that nothing is original, just as a tree cannot sprout from midair. Yeah, everything has its roots in something else. Obviously the question that I had to that guy, well, why do you even paint? Something had to inspire you to even paint. But I don't know if I ever got an answer from him or if I just don't remember what it was. It was probably something pretentious. Sisu says it's like a musician never wanting to listen to music. Fuck off. Exactly. Oof. Let me try to get current here. Sisu says, was he wearing skinny jeans while talking about his pain? Yeah, I don't think skinny jeans were a thing at that time. Bible Ninja says, I've noticed a few of your pieces with warped lines or played physics on buildings. It's a theme. Yeah, it's definitely something that I love to do. It's called relative perspective, and it's something that that MC Escher was that was his claim to fame, or at least it was for me. Yeah, relative perspective was huge for me, and I've talked about it before. It boggles my mind that people didn't take up after MC Escher. Like no one carried the baton of MC Escher because he was on to such great things. Like relative perspective as a concept leads you down so many fucking paths. You would have thought there would have been, and in many cases there has been. There's been lots of people that have picked up the baton and started working with it. But yeah, certainly that's what I did, and I found a great deal of enjoyment in it. Warping perspective, using these gestural lines and whatnot. That's a great way to evoke emotion. I guess I'm more of a, in some regards, a expressionist painter. I never even thought of myself as that, but someone said to me one day, they're like, "No, Davis, you're an expressionist." I don't know what you're talking about. I always thought of myself as more of a, God, I don't know. I didn't really have a term for myself, but someone laid it on me and said, "No, Davis, you're an expressionist," and I guess it's true. And one of the tools for expression is not just color, but perspective as well. Trucknut says, too much art on this art stream. What's happening here? We've finally gone into art overload. Art overload. We've had too much pent up, uh, pent up, um, a backlog of art to talk about. That Bug Bounty says, see, I never understood the concept of sad art being inspired by sadness. I've always felt like making very floaty art when sad or angry. When I'm happy, I tend to make the creepy shit, though. Yeah, I get that. Vape Candy puts on Black Beret. Look, Davis, you just don't understand the deepness of whatever the fuck it is I'm talking about. Yeah, it's true. That Bug Bounty goes on to say, I love the quote because it really shows how vain you have to be to think that cutting off from art will make you original. You think your basic level is original? No, it isn't. You can only know what hasn't been done by seeing everything that has been done and understanding how it's done, not to do it. Yeah, yeah, it's just a fallacy in itself. I came here for titties, not artsy fartsy fag talk. I'm unsubbing. Oh no, we're back to $4.99, folks. Davis, the sanctimonious Photoshop kid expressionist. That's it. That's it, alt-centrist. But I saw something else in here that I forgot that I'd put up here. Gosh, maybe it's too dark to even see. But the one contest that I did win on DeviantArt was for the film Insidious 2. And this was my process. To tell you just how bad my process was back then. Now, I only had a day and a half to work on this image before my deadline. So that's my excuse. But really, this is how it came about. And really, to tell you the truth, this piece right here is not something that I'm proud of. I think, if anything, this picture has more problems than the Cahoots picture. But really, it's just because of the deadline. A lot of things I would have liked to change on it. But one of these days, I'll tell you exactly why I thought I won this one. And it's an interesting story, but I'll have to get some pictures and some stills from some videos to truly explain what happened. But whatever. Alt-centrist, did Davis say vape candy? Did I? Uh-oh. Gonna hear about that later. Geekfather says, playing D&D and reading the Forgotten Realms books most of my life made me want to write. Superhero comics added to that. Well, absolutely. I think that's one of the reasons that I actually got into art was fantasy covers, even from the stuff you're even talking about. Like my father, he had the Dungeons and Dragons manuals. My older brother, he was really into Dungeons and Dragons, and I would just pore over those covers. Um, I thought they were the best. My father had a huge collection of Conan the Barbarian novels, and some of those were illustrated by Frank Frazetta. If you guys don't know who he is, he's one of the great godfathers of illustration, pulp illustration. I think it was him and Boris Vallejo were just hugely influential for me. And then, of course, that got me into other, painters out there like, you know, Salvador Dali and M.C. Escher and all those people that I, to this day are just fucking gods to me. That Pug Bunny says, talking about optic really gets the creative juices flowing. It's like the standard creative mind becomes so irate by seeing him and what he does that it explodes creativity to counteract it. That's a very good point. Vamp Candy, not Vape Candy, says, I used to have a friend. She was a very depressed person in our younger years. When she'd make something, it was always bright colors. When I asked why, she said she wanted people to feel the opposite of how he felt or how she felt. Well, there you go. I'm trying to think if I ever did any artwork based on emotions that I was feeling or anything like that. It seemed like an alien concept to me. Now, I spent a lot of time, painting buildings. So you can't really, I mean, you can convey emotions in buildings and whatnot. I mean, that's fine. But as far as personally speaking, I don't know if I've ever done that. Maybe you can't help but doing that. I don't know. I think for that reason, and probably for many other reasons, I always more or less considered myself more of an illustrator than an artist. I shouldn't say that I've always considered myself that. Just it's something that I've more or less reconciled with over the years, especially after meeting. And we've talked about this before, but like meeting other artists that are just on a different level. Just people that just eat, drink, and breathe art. You know, they're just colossal titans. You almost feel like, wow, these guys are artists, like true wizards. Yeah, I to this day I feel uncomfortable about calling myself an artist, considering that that I hold that position to such a fucking high esteem. But yeah, that's just semantics anyway. I kind of feel like if someone calls me an artist, it's like someone. I'm not gonna correct them or anything, but yeah, it's almost like when someone calls you beautiful. You're just like, what can you do? You just sort of accept the compliment for what it is, right? I mean, it makes me feel uncomfortable, but at the same time, got to take the compliment and change the subject, I guess. If you want to meet some of those artists for the Tabletop Manuals, Davis, PazioCon features some of them every year. Oh, really? I don't know. Not really worth it for me to meet any of those guys. Space Kissinger says illustrators don't get the love they deserve. You're goddamn right. There's a documentary about Frank Frazetta, and they have some fucking art guy on there, like a serious art guy, and he says that, oh, Frank Frazetta's fine. He's a fine painter, but he won't be remembered in 100 years like serious painters will. Serious painters like who? The fuck are you talking about? Like Jackson Pollock? These fucking gatekeepers fucking drive me crazy. When I saw that part of that documentary, I wanted to fucking throw a shoe at him. Oh, people won't remember Frank Frazetta? Fuck off. Tell you what, I'll take Frank Frazetta before a lot of these other assholes. I'll take Frank Frazetta before any of these serious artists. I'll put the Death Dealer on my wall. That Bug Bunny says, what inspired me was Power Rangers, no joke. I loved it so much I would draw action scenes with stick figures. It was when I was 6 years old and I had these shitty action scenes everywhere. Yep. First thing I ever drew that I remember drawing was He-Man. I was so proud of myself. Yeah, what had happened? I've told this story before. I don't know if I told it to you guys. But and it starts with tracing. No joke. Okay, so my father, he drew. This is what I thought at the time. My father sat down and he drew a dragon freehand. This is what I thought had happened, and I was watching him do it. I didn't know until later he was tracing on top of a like a Dungeons and Dragons manual. But I watched him do it, and with the mastery of which he was creating these lines and drawing this dragon was like, oh my god. I thought to myself, whoa, you could just do that? You could just do that? That's possible? I was just excited about it. And the next day, I'm bragging to kids, and this must have been like first grade or second grade. Uh, God, yeah, it had to be like first grade. I was in Germany at the time. So I bragged to this kid that I could draw He-Man, not ever drawing before in my life. So I sat down to do it the same way I saw my father do it. And boy, was I in for disappointment because it came out like fucking holy shit. Even as I was drawing it, I was sweating bullets. I remember this experience to this day. I was drawing it, and I can't even remember what it looks like because I remember the poorly drawn muscles, the perspective was all off. Didn't look like He-Man at all. But I went in with zeal, and then I immediately was just disappointed with myself. But this is what's funny that happened is that all the kids in the class started gathering around me, watching me draw. One of the kids was like, "Hey, this guy can draw. He's drawing He-Man. This guy can draw He-Man." And it's like that boost. It was like it's like this weird contradiction. Like in my head, I'm like, I am fucking bombing here. I'm bombing on stage. This is the worst thing that could possibly happen. And at the same time, I'm being applauded for my efforts. people are calling me like this fucking great. Oh, this guy can draw He-Man. Just the praise I got for this whole fucking thing. It was a fucking wildly bizarre thing. Probably the most bizarre thing at that time that happened to me. But I think that was like a life changing thing. It was like, you know what? I'm going to make it so that I earn this title. I will draw He-Man eventually. And because people wanted me to draw all the time, I just started drawing all the time, and that's how it happened. Space Kissinger says no one can tell me that Norman Rockwell isn't an artist. Well, yeah, he's probably the most respected illustrator out there, for sure. I don't know if anybody would ever say that he's not an artist, but be interesting to see if anybody does. I don't. Yeah. Does anyone? Is that a thing? Does anyone say that Norman Rockwell isn't an artist? Like he's transcendent. He's a transcendent illustrator. His stuff is absolutely just beautiful. Compositionally and otherwise, it's just a fantastic, fantastic painter. Let me try to get current here. That bug bunny says, "What I can't understand is the people who live, drink, and shit art for 50 or 60 years, and they spend all downtime with art, but they don't draw good. You could have doodled the whole time and been decent." It's interesting. It's an interesting point. Smart astronaut. Welcome to the stream. Davis is a supreme artist. Oh. Well, I appreciate it. Trying to get current with the chat. Give me. Welcome to the stream, by the way, Blood Toker. See you there. Little Davis tried. Yeah, I did. I tried and never stopped trying. That bug bunny says, "Why I hate gatekeepers and why I hate the talent autists. So many people out there just sit back saying, 'Oh, I could never,' and then they don't because of it. Pisses me off because I was such a shitty artist and tried so hard just to be half as good as the artist I loved online. So much frustration and depression just to be decent, but no one else can even bother trying because I don't have talent." No, I hear you there. Yeah, I spent more years frustrated than excuse me. Yeah, I mean that's par from the course. I spent my whole childhood being frustrated with what I was doing. But I don't know. You're gonna get me talking about my you know yeah, obviously you need someone to have some support for you in these endeavors. I talked about my father. Anyway, we'll move on. Blood Toker says, "Give it another 5 years, Davis will be mass producing at Thomas Kincaid levels." There you go. Yeah, Thomas Kincaid right now, he is probably the most popular artist. Obviously, he passed away not too long ago, but yeah, what time are we at? 10:30, 35. All right, let's try to get these shorts more or less work done. Let's change the color real quick. What's that? Why is that a thing? That's more or less fine. Spinal Tap Taparoo says, draw a bulge. Disgusting. Mass produce them puzzles, Davis. I'm thinking about it. I'm wondering how hard it would be to. You know what? I'll ask my buddy about this. I actually know somebody who probably can answer these questions better than better than me just speculating about it. But I have a friend in China. Maybe he can hook me up with a place over there to mass produce these puzzles. I don't know. Maybe I'll find one in the United States. Who knows? Draw two bulges. Oh my gosh. You just draw bulges everywhere. All right, we'll move on from this thing in a second. All right, let's get the sweater done. We'll work on the sweater first, and then we'll. What's a good one to start with? Yeah, probably this one is fine. Could change the colors later. Draw 3 bulges, 2 oranges, and a cucumber. You guys are degenerates. It must be said. That bug bunny. I should stop. I'll legit fight a nigga over talent. Must be those Power Rangers deep down in my soul. It haunts me with super fighting action. Someone says, you need to have talent behind me. An electric guitar starts playing in my head before I pull out a switchblade. Yeah, we all have our little pet peeves, don't we? I certainly have my own. We're winning the art stream wars. Well, all right then. We'll go for a mid-tone here. Where is this? Geek Father says, please, no more Futa. My Twitter feed has become nothing. But ever since my Twitter feed has become nothing but ever since Tumblr won't allow it anymore. Who the fuck are you following on Twitter? You need to take care of that shit. Dear God, man. No, yeah, there's certainly people I won't follow on Twitter because of that shit. Obviously, if that's what you're into, it's perfectly fine. It's just not what I'm into. Blood Toker. Whoa, I forgot Tumblr existed. Yeah, what was the thing with Tumblr? They just stopped allowing pornography on there? A bold move. Vape says, both Twitter and Tumblr suck. To which Koloski responds, you suck, Vape. And Vape will say, no, I don't actually. And then Koloski will say, yes, yes, you do. And it'll go by like that for the rest of time. Red Feather says, I don't know what Futa is, luckily. Well, I don't know how to pronounce it. Is that how you pronounce it? Futa? Bastard beast. Won't let ignorance stand. Futa is anime chicks with dicks. Chicks with dicks. And people love it. For whatever reason. It's crazy how popular it is. I don't know why. Who's that guy? Shadman? He draws a lot of that shit. Fucking weird, man. Like, I more or less understand, some fetishes out there. I kind of get feet. I understand it's not my thing and whatnot. I don't get chicks with dicks. I don't get it. I think I'm probably fine with that. It's probably fine not to understand or empathize with that certain things. Vape says, yeah, earlier this year, Tumblr stopped allowing adult content, so all the girls who would sell pics of their feet and trannies with my fan accounts all migrated to, he says Tumblr, I think he means Twitter, I don't know. Kolofsky says, Shad is a fucking pedo. Oh no. Blood Toker says, Shadman is creative but more than a little fucked up. I've certainly seen a few pieces from him. What do you mean he's a pedo? I don't like. Obviously, we've talked about this. I don't like that being thrown around willy nilly. Oh, does he like draw like characters that are really young in sexual positions and stuff? Yeah, it's pretty controversial, isn't it? Red Feather One says Freud would say it's latent homosexuality. Well, I don't know what it is. He draws Lolita. Okay. Bastard B says, Shadman makes child porn. Tipsy Top says, yeah, he draws Lolita, but I don't think he's a pedo. Futa? Is that how you pronounce it? Okay, Futa. That bug behind you says he draws real-life girls being fucked and lusted on, not characters. Whoa, 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 whoa. Kolofsky says he drew porn of Keemstar's daughter? Are you kidding? Dear God, really? Ugh. You're kidding me. Dear fucking God. That just soured my mood. Nah, I'm not looking it up. What? That is so fucked up. That is the most fucked up thing that I've. Oh my God. Actually, it took me. Oh my God. New subject. That's gonna be hard to fucking recover from. But yeah, we need to move on. We got about 13 minutes in the broadcast here, so we're definitely not gonna leave off with that. Jesus Christ. That bug bunny says he also drew the girl that was on Ralph's show a few times. Not porn, but just suggestive art for her personality. What the fuck? Vamp Candy says no, he didn't. No, he didn't do what? He didn't do soap pictures. He said he would, but he never actually followed through with it. But did he do the Keemstar's daughter thing? Wait, what the fuck is this? Okay, that bug behind you says to be clear on the Keemstar thing, he didn't draw porn of her. He drew Keem holding her as a threat to him to drop a subject that he was going to report on. Oh, okay. Smile says Keem was going to do a drama alert on him, and he drew Keem's daughter with Keem, not sexual at first. Don't know about the porn since I didn't look into it. Okay. Huh. That bug behind you says no, he did. You can see it in on archived work. Dear God. So he did actually do. He followed through with it. Wow, this is one of those things, man. I like to get to the bottom of the truth and whatnot, but there's no fucking way that I'm going to look this up. Apathetic renter trying to save us. He says, "I think it's time we talk to the Baker women about renting their cooking appliances for a while." Yeah, Crucial Bunny says no. He put his daughter in non-porn images that he used real porn images to trace from. Okay. Huh. Yeah, this is a tough subject to even talk about. Not knowing whether or not it existed or not. I don't know. Smile says Shadman also drew porn of his own mom. I listened to Josh of Kiwi Farms talk about it for a bit. Weird. Okay. God, what a fucking rabbit hole. Now, if you guys want to find out the truth about this subject, I can suggest one thing for you guys. That's Brave Browser, folks. Brave Browsers. If privacy is important to you on the internet, then there really is only one choice for a browser, and that's Brave Browser, folks. That bug behind you says, I would send it, but you really don't need anything more than that. You don't need to see actual porn with actual children drawn. The suggestive art is all that's needed to clean your hands of it. Apathetic Rancher says, speaking of baking, is there going to be another stream after yours? I'd like to keep the chill vibes going while I still got a buzz. Why, yes, now that you mention it, there will be another stream after this one. It'll be on the TP channel. You start with start in a bit. In fact, let me check on the old Kumite Discord and see if anybody's rummaging around over there. I don't see a Tonka in there, so we'll carry on. And if someone will let me know if a stream goes live, I'll go ahead and end the show. But yeah, let's talk about something else that's not Tipsy Top says, Shadman, been on a podcast, you can get it from the horse's mouth. Oh, really? Okay. Maybe I'll see if Shadman wants to come by the old Morning Beast. Ugh, maybe not. That bug behind you. You know, Davis, I see everyone has avoided it, but I'll say it. Why are you covering that poor girl in cum? Well, this is the part of the game where, well, I don't want to spoil anything. Let's see what Sisu has posted into the Discord. And, yeah, I'm not going to, maybe I will. Is that from today? I've never seen that one before. Smart Astronaut says, is Davis a limited fluffer now? What does that mean? Maybe, I don't know. His accent is kind of hard to understand. Oh, okay. Where's he from? That bug behind you says, Shad doesn't want anything to do with this anymore. He fucked with the wrong person, and he's reclusive now. He's even considering dropping his website. Wow. Well, time to take up the mantle. I don't want to be the next Bob Ross. I'm going to be the next Shad Man. Ugh. Makes me disturbed just thinking about it. Crucial Bunny says that he's going to draw a porn of Scrattles getting mounted by a bull mastiff. Hey, this might actually clear our palate before we head off. So we don't have to think about Shadman, what he may or may not have done. Let me put this on the screen for you folks. Some work from our friend. Little meme work for you guys. It's not Shadman, but it'll do. Look at those hands, guys. The first thing I noticed was the rib cage. The fuck is going on with this? Is Broski his muse? His muse? Can you imagine if you looked up your body of work and that you realize that you've drawn your male co-host more than you've drawn any woman in your life? Dear Lord. I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying that he's gay or anything. I'm not trying to bury him that way. I'm just saying. Get to drawing a pretty girl there. Is that Optic and Brusky? No, it's I don't know what it is. You know, again, it's one of those meme drawings. I imagine. I don't know. Someone said something in the chat and he decided to draw it for an hour or something. We got the Nielsen numbers in. To be honest, Broski complains like a woman, so it's easy to get confused, says Apathetic Ranter. He does do a lot of that. See, we're back to our favorite subject. Get all that stink away. That bug behind you, a bit frustrated, he says, but what's the point? Ha ha, it's an old woman sadist. I don't fucking get the joke. Be funny, damn you! Make funny things! Yeah. I'm sure it was funnier when someone said it in the chat. That's what I'm gonna do for the next week. I'm going to derail the whole stream so I can draw whatever Truck Nuts puts out there. It's gonna be good. Spinal, take care. See you later. That Bug Bunny says, imagine Broski being whipped by an old woman with her tits to her knees. Ha ha ha! Oh my god, that's so fucking funny. You ever see that movie about uh, National Lampoon? It's on Netflix. It's all right. It's an all right movie. But the one of the most interesting parts about it for me was the part where they had to drop the old art director. Like they had a young art director that was was just putting out shit artwork. It was all that hippy dippy bullshit, and it was suggested to the guy that to sell the joke, to sell the jokes, what you needed was art that didn't overstep on the joke itself. And I think that's the other problem with Optic. You know, the fact that Broski doesn't look like Broski and the old woman is poorly rendered and all that kind of steals from the joke. Whatever the joke is, I don't know what the joke is. Kala says it's like, sure, he takes suggestions, but people know it's not going to be good art. So what's the point in suggesting something seriously? They just go for the cheap jokes, and Optic draws them. It's weird, man. Seems like a waste of time. I wonder if Optic thinks about the grim specter of death as much as I do. I mean, for sure, we do derail this stream all the time. But hopefully it's for a good laugh. Hopefully it's for something that is worth saying. Dear God, we must remember. This stream is built on the backbone of actually getting something worthwhile done. Eventually. We have a monumental task ahead of us, guys. If anything, I want to take it more seriously. Oh, thank you, Bible Ninja. It's a 26-minute timer on the Kumite. Yeah, so I need to fucking get something to eat and get myself refreshed for that show. At least we did get to the sweater. We didn't complete it. But we got some clothes on her. At the very least, Trucknut says, "What's unspoken here is how much you truly miss Optic." Okay, I think we have just enough time for me to draw a picture of myself missing Optic Decay, crying into a pillow. It's gonna be funny, guys. Shut it down, everybody out. All right, I'm going to save my progress. We'll back out. We'll take a look at it. All right, we're more or less, it's fine. Probably a few problems there. Yeah, there's a few, more than a few problems we'll take care of. I guess next week, actually. Yeah, I'll try to get something done this weekend. Weekends are always bad for me. Um, as far as next week goes, we're gonna play it by ear. I have no idea what's going on. Things are in flux. Let's just put it that way. But I want to thank you all for showing up to the stream, for having a laugh, for going down some weird alleys as we've done this week and today, of course. But yeah, I do appreciate it. Thanks for keeping it fun, keeping it interesting. I'll see you on the other show, guys. But if I don't, I'll see you next week. You guys take care.